The West likes to dismiss the BRICS alliance as a political sideshow, but is it starting to crack the US-led global order?
Hey guys, this is Seth with World Economic Tour Tuesday this week. In this video, I'm going to talk about major economies, major currencies, Bitcoin, and Magnificent Seven stock. United States, the biggest economy in the world, has a government that is expected to go into default. There needs to be a new debt ceiling established to avert any default. The current debt ceiling is sitting at $36 trillion, which was suspended until January 1st, 2025. And this debt ceiling is about to be reached between January 14 to January 23. After which extraordinary measures would need to be taken. In extraordinary measures, the government moves around its funds from accounts to meet its obligations and pay its dues. And those measures can only take government as far as June 16, 2025, after which the government would actually enter into default and shuts down. The problem with extending debt limit is that Democrats and some conservative Republicans are not willing to support any bill to extend the debt limit. In fact, there are 29 congressmen who have never actually voted to extend the debt limit in the past, and they are proud of it. So it is very hard for the current government as well as the future government to increase the debt limit immediately and start borrowing again. According to the House Speaker, there needs to be a raise of $1.5 trillion in the ceiling. The question is, what will happen if the government shuts down just like it shut down in 2013 for over 2 weeks? The Department of Education would lay down workers. Only 11% of the staff would be called into work. This means that there is not enough staff to answer the questions of the people who are applying for student loans. And student loans can only be granted as long as the government has the funds. If the government does not have the funds, the student loans would not be granted. In Social Security programs, Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, SNAP, and Special Supplemental Nutritional Program for Women, Infant, and Children, WIC, might be affected if government shuts down for extended time period. There would be delays and slower wait times at the airports because government employees work there too. Passport issuance will be delayed. National parks and museums are going to be closed. In short, all government payments are going to be delayed. Remember, the last time when government shut down, 40% of the Americans had to cut their consumer spendings. Non-essential federal workers are not going to be paid. Contractors, private contractors who are working for the government would be out of work temporarily. Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary Sabrina Singh said that troops would go without pay. Military factories would be impacted, of course. Some offices at military bases would need to be closed. IRS will also reduce its staff, but don't worry, tax collection will go on. China, the second biggest economy, is expected to see slower growth in 2025. So President Xi Jinping, in his New Year's address, said that Chinese should work harder. He has acknowledged the challenges the economy is going to face and played down deflation in the country and talked about imminent trade war that is going to happen between US and China and cross-strait tensions with Taiwan. In 2024, the growth in China did not achieve its 5% mark. Remember, there is a vision of Xi Jinping that the economy would be doubled in 2035 at 2020 level, which requires at least 4.8% GDP growth every year. This target is becoming more and more challenging. There is persistent unemployment, especially at younger people. There is looming property crisis in the country. National Bureau of Statistics said that in first 11 months of 2024, investment in real estate went down by 10.4%. China has been consistently giving stimulus packages since September, which includes support for property sector and $1.4 trillion package to the local government to deal with its debt. There are a lot of experts claiming that window dressing has been done in economic indicators by Chinese authorities, like Rhodium Group in New York claims that China did not actually have 4.1% growth in 2024. Their estimate is between 2.4 to 2.8%. But China continues to take steps to improve the productivity of the country. They are due to incentivize people to have more children, as the birth rate is falling and labor force is shrinking in China. It should be noticed that China is not a welcoming country to immigrants. Yes, people go and work there, but there are no programs to acquire workforce from different countries just like Western countries have. The authorities authorities have bolstered government employees' salaries by at least 500 yuan per month. After the slump in housing market, central bank has made it easier for businesses and people to borrow funds. It is quite evident now that China and US are in a tech race. Total exports bans in regards to semiconductors, artificial intelligence are making news every week. President Xi is confident about China's progress in semiconductor, artificial intelligence, quantum and space technology. And this confidence has recently been boosted by Russian President Putin, who has ordered the biggest bank in the country, Share Bank, to build cooperation with China in artificial intelligence sector. Bloomberg economist has estimated the growth rate of only 4.5% in 2025 for China. BRICS. Today we're going to talk about BRICS that has grown to a large extent last year. Now BRICS represent half the population of the world and 41% of gross domestic product of the world. In 2024 it added 4 member countries and 9 partner countries. As of January 1st, 2025, they have 9 member countries which include Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran and United Arab Emirates. It has 9 member countries: Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Thailand, Uganda and Uzbekistan. It is an economic cooperation forum or organization. The partner country status has different privileges than member country status, but partner countries are on their way to become the member countries of BRICS. BRICS is known to threaten US dollar domination all over the world. It seeks to de-dollarize and transform international monetary and financial system, which is technically very ginormous task, but sure, they can try and they can be successful too, because this body BRICS represents the production house of key commodities like oil, gas, grain, meat and minerals. Founded in 2009, it wasn't that big, but since the rise of China on economic stage, it has grown so much. China is now the world's biggest industrial production country, representing 35% of world's gross manufacturing alone. Now look at this. Brazil, India and China make up 2/3 of global production of sugarcane. China and Brazil make up to 30% of world's corn production. India and China produce over half of world's rice and 40% of world's potatoes. China, India and Russia produce over 40% of world's wheat. 90% of oil palm fruit is produced by Indonesia, Malaysia and Thailand, now the partner countries of BRICS. The question is, will this organization challenge European Union or NAFTA? This question is hard to answer because these countries, they have different type of government setup or political setup. Some countries are democratic countries, some countries are non-democratic countries. The future is uncertain when we talk about competition between BRICS, European Union and NAFTA. When we talk about major currencies, the most traded currencies in the world that are United States dollar, euro, Japanese yen, pound sterling, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Chinese renminbi and Swiss franc. In past 5 days, United States dollar has decreased in value against most of the currencies, which include euro, Japanese yen, pound sterling, Australian dollar, Canadian dollar and Swiss franc. The only currency it appreciated against is Chinese yuan. And the main reason could be the trade war that has already been started between China and United States. So American dollar is getting better against Chinese yuan. Bitcoin. Currently Bitcoin is at 102,005 United States dollar. There is good news with Bitcoin, a lot of good news. The Bitcoin started off really big in 2025 by hitting over 100,000. Bitcoin is up, Ether is up, Solana is up, up you go. There is a lot of positive push from incoming Republicans who are crypto friendly, who are expected to establish Bitcoin reserve. In Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has resigned and there are high hopes that Pierre Poilievre, conservative leader, is going to become the Prime Minister of Canada, and he is very crypto friendly. In fact, he actually bought shawarma with Bitcoins. Watch this video.
We're going to buy this shawarma
with this Bitcoin. You ready? And by the way, do you use Canadian food when you make your shawarma? Is it Canadian source? Local, made in Canada, my friends. All right, let's do it. You got the payment. All right, I did it. Come on over here.
So Canada is one of the most advanced countries that has a chance to make cryptocurrency a legal tender. The demand for Bitcoin is currently high. Yesterday, MicroStrategy added 1,070 Bitcoins, bringing its portfolio to 447,470 Bitcoins. I think they are in love with 4s and 7s, just like Elon Musk is in love with X and Doge. Incoming government in United States is expected to add 50,000 Bitcoins in government reserves every year. That will bring it up to 200,000 Bitcoins by the end of 4 years. The Bitcoin could be on its way to the moon. The pundits are expecting the price raise as high as $250,000 by the end of this year. Now remember, this is if Trump administration delivers on its promise. Let's talk about Magnificent 7 stocks. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, Tesla, Meta, Nvidia. Apple, in last 5 days, Apple has gone down by 2.9%. There is a lot of bad news about Apple right now. They're seeing $95 million in settlement in a lawsuit that was brought against it in Oakland. It has been found out that Siri has been listening to your conversations without even being activated. Yes, whether you call Hey Siri or not, your phone has been recording or eavesdropping on you while you are on phone or off the phone. Now this data is sold to the market that could sell you the products that you are most likely to buy. What are the details as of now about this case is, if this settlement happens, each iPhone user who has been using the phone since 2014 could claim $20 for each iPhone they owned since then. So each user would be eligible for 5 claims. That would be $100 in claims. Anyway, the lawyer who filed this lawsuit is going to be paid $29.6 million. Just so you know. Microsoft is doing okay. For past 5 days, it has increased by 0.35%. Highest it hit was 432.6 US dollars. And remember, this is not at its highest peak right now, just like other tech stocks. But there is big news in 2025 from Microsoft. They're planning to invest $18 billion in AI data centers, half of which would be in United States. The effects of this news is due to be seen in stock prices, so watch out today's price. It is going to do very well. Amazon is doing very good. It has increased in 5 days by 3.42%, and it is almost 1 year high. There is no big news there. It is only that Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, is following Elon Musk in the world's richest people's list. When it comes to Alphabet, Google is doing really good against its competitors. It is at 1 year high right now at 197 United States dollars per share. In last 5 days, it increased by 3.8%. But Tesla has some really big news going on. As you know that it is close to 1 year high, but it is in the last 5 days it dropped by 1.9%, but it also hit its highest last week, bringing up the CEO's wealth to $400 billion. He is topping the list of Forbes' richest people on earth. Now, he only owns 13% of Tesla, but remember that he owns other companies. Companies like SpaceX, X, Neuralinks, the Boring Company. These companies, SpaceX valuation has been going up, other companies' valuations have been going up. So collectively, the ownership of these companies make him the richest man on earth. His links with President Donald Trump is also helping him to increase his wealth. When we talk about Meta is doing really good. It is at 1 year high, $630.20 for one share. In last 5 days, it has increased by 7.05%. There is no big news there. It is just a trend. The tech companies are performing well. Yes, Dana White is going to become one of the board members of Facebook. See, you don't need any degree, any skill, any experience. All you need is fame and links to become one of the board members of Facebook. Last but not least, Nvidia. Nvidia is due to become the United States' largest company. Its valuation is reaching $3.7 trillion. Apple is also at $3.7 trillion. Nvidia has passed Apple a couple of times before, but it is still equivalent. But in future, it is safe to say that Nvidia is on its way to become the biggest company in the United States, not in the world, United States. It is at 1-year high. Last 5 days brought it 10.83% of raise in its stock. It is standing at 149.43 cents. The big news here is that Taiwan's Foxconn is building world's largest AI server facility in Mexico, and they are using super chips from Nvidia, GB200. The demand of this chip has already been high and it is going to go further high. So there is no slowing down in the stock price of Nvidia or overall growth of Nvidia in the future. So this is it for World Economic Tour Tuesday. I hope you liked it. Let's start this year very strong. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.